Today we're going to talk about something called the triangle sum theorem, which is the rule for how you can figure out what a missing angle measurement is in a triangle. So, the triangle sum theorem says that all three angles of a triangle have a sum of 180 degrees. That means when you add angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, they all have to add up to 180 degrees. Why is that? Well, if you look at a triangle, here's a triangle right here, and we pretended that we ripped off this angle right here, and this angle right here, and ripping it off this angle right here, and we put them all together, we would actually see that this green angle plus this yellow angle plus this purple angle, if we rotate it around, when we add them all together, they actually form a nice straight line. And a straight line has a measurement of 180 degrees, because if I put two 90-degree angles together, they would create this straight line. 90 plus 90 is 180. So adding all three angles in a triangle, you should get the answer, you should always get the answer, of 180 degrees. So what happens if I tell you some of the degrees, but you're missing one of them? For example, here you can see I have a right triangle. That little square shows me this is a 90-degree right angle. So even if you don't see a 90 there, you know this is actually 90 degrees. If I tell you that this angle is 23 degrees, then you can figure out the measurement of this missing angle by saying, I know that 90 plus 23 plus that mystery angle is going to have to add up to be 180. So two choices. You could add 90 plus 23 together. That gives you 113. And then solve it algebraically. Subtract 113 from both sides. Oops. This leaves you with just your unknown angle on the left. And 180 minus 113 is 67 degrees. So that's one strategy for finding your answer. Another strategy is to start with 180 and subtract away. Well, 180 minus 90, that's 90. Minus 23, that's going to be, 67 degrees. So whichever way you do it, you get the same answer. If you prefer to add first and then subtract, or if you want to start subtracting right away. This is how you find your missing angle measurement. Let's try another one. A triangle has angles of 57 degrees and 31.5 degrees. What is the measure of the other angle? Well, I know a triangle always has three angles. One of them is 57. One of them is 31.5. One of them is our unknown. We'll call it x. And they all add up to 180. I personally start by adding the two angle measurements I do know. 31.5. Remember 57, any whole number you can add a decimal point at the end and a 0. That gives us 88.5. 180, take away those two angle measurements, will give you your missing angle measurement. You can even double check your final answer and say, I think that my missing angle is 91.5 degrees, but I know that if I add 91.5 to 31.5 plus 57, that should add all back up to 180. Which it does. So I am all set. I know that my missing angle is 91.5. Let's take one more example. This one's a challenge one. I want to know what both of these missing angles are. Now wait, I know that I can do it if I know 2 angle measurements, but what if I only know 1? Well, this only works because it is a special isosceles triangle. And if these 2 sides are congruent, they're equal in length, then that means that the angles opposite from them are equal in size. So this angle, we'll call it x, is the same as this angle, which is also going to be x. So I can say 29 plus x equals 180. Subtract 29 from both sides. That leaves you with 2 x's on the left and 151 on the right. To isolate x, to figure out just one of those x angles, what is that? We're going to divide both sides by 2. Let's see, 100 divided by 2 is 50, 50 divided by 2 is 25. Add that together, that's 75 and a half. You can always double check your final answer by adding 75 and a half plus 75 and a half plus 29 and 0/10. Add that all up and you will realize that you do end up with 180 degrees, which is the sum of all 3 inside angles, interior angles, of a triangle.